Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, as I said earlier that you must practice all the grammar concepts. I hope कि आप सब लोग ये सब कुछ सारे exercises practice कर रहे हो and you're trying to solve more and more sheets. चलो बच्चों, अब देखते हैं ये concept जो हमने previous class में भी पढ़ा था about active and passive voice. अब हम इसे देखेंगे और detail में. Alright, so let's begin. Hello kids. When the subject does the action in a sentence, the sentence is said to be in the active voice. जब कोई subject action कर रहा है तो वो active voice में होता है. Okay, but when the subject is acted upon in a sentence, मतलब subject पे कुछ action हुई है, their sentence is said to be in the passive voice. Okay, read the following sentences. The teacher is teaching the students. The students are being taught by the teacher. Okay, so first sentence में the verb is teaching shows that the subject is the active doer of the action. Okay, that is the teacher. Okay, so the verb is in the active voice. In sentence 2, the verb are being taught, okay, shows that the subject is not the active doer, okay, of the action. Okay, so the verb is in passive voice. तो यहाँ पे subject जो बन जाते हैं वो होते हैं students और teacher बन जाती है object. Clear? Now let's look at the uses of passive voice. We use the passive voice when the action is more important than the subject or the doer of the action. तो जो action है that is more important. Okay, उस time पे हम use करते हैं passive voice. For example, more than 50% Indians are employed in agriculture. We do not know who the doer or subject is. That's when we use the passive voice. जब हमें subject या doer of the action पता नहीं होता है तब हम use करते हैं passive voice. Like my bag was stolen. My school bag was stolen. So we don't know who has actually stolen the bag. Okay. So that's when we use passive voice. We're just trying to convey the message to others that the bag was stolen. Okay. Next is when we talk of a system or process. कोई process के बारे में, कोई system के बारे में बता रहे, okay? तो उस time पे हम लोग use करते हैं passive voice. Like the wheat crop is cut in the month of April. Okay? So this is like a process. हर साल April में wheat crop cut किया जाता है. Okay? Most spices are collected from forests. Okay, clear? So these are the processes or this is a system which is being followed by everyone. Okay, a regular basis पे वो होते जा रहा है. Next is when we write notices or newspaper headlines at public places. Okay, for example, smoking prohibited here. Padma Shri awarded by the president. तो यहाँ पे हमने use किया है passive voice. Clear? चलो, in such cases we need not use the verb be, hence omitted. Alright? We describe changes that have taken place. तो कोई changes जो हो गए उसके बारे में जब describe करना होता है, so then we can use an passive voice. Okay, for example, my office looks completely different. The whole place has been painted. Clear? Now, let's look at the note. It says only transitive verbs, okay, or verbs having objects can be changed into passive voice. Intransitive verbs cannot be changed into passive voice. Okay? मतलब जिसमें आगे आपको object होगा उसी में हम change करेंगे. Clear? Okay? Next is, let's look at the rules for changing active voice into passive voice. तो जब आप change करोगे तो what are the things that you need to keep in mind is what we are going to look at now in detail. Okay? First is the subject becomes the object and the object becomes the subject. This is the ground rule. You cannot forget this. Alright. The word by is used before the agent in the passive voice. Okay. For example, the coolie carried the luggage. ये क्या है? Active voice में है. अब इसको जब हम passive बनाते हैं तो बोलेंगे the luggage was carried by the coolie. Okay, so by word आएगा इसमें when you are changing it. Okay, next is the main verb in the active voice is changed to its passive form by using the verb be, like is, am, are, was, were plus past participle. Okay, matlab the form of the verb be depends on the new subject of the passive voice, okay, and the tense. मतलब जब ये न्यू सब्जेक्ट कौन होता है, पहले जो एक्टिव वॉइस में जो सब्जेक्ट होता है वो ऑब्जेक्ट बन जाता है और पहले सेंटेंस का जो ऑब्जेक्ट होता है वो सब्जेक्ट बन जाता है. अब ये नया सब्जेक्ट जो होता है उसके हिसाब से, ओके, एंड द टेंस in which it is used, past, present or future, उसके हिसाब से you will make the change. Okay. Now, for example, the girl is eating fruits. Active voice है and singular subject है. Okay. Fruits are being eaten by the girl. Okay. So, ये passive voice हो गया and ये जो subject है अभी, okay, fruits, okay, they have become the subject and they are plural. Clear? Now, pronouns are changed as shown in the table. तो अगर सब्जेक्ट में I है तो ऑब्जेक्ट में बन जाएगा me. We becomes us. You stays as you. He becomes him. She becomes her. They, them. It stays as it. Who becomes whom. Alright, तो ये याद रखना है बच्चों. Don't forget about this. Now, a modal verb in the active voice changes into passive voice as shown below. Okay, modal verb plus be plus past participle. For example, we should obey the rules of the road. Okay, this is in active. अब इसका passive हो जाएगा, the rules of the road should be obeyed. Clear? So, इसमें आपने देखा कि कैसे change हुआ है from active to passive. Okay, तो modal verb use हुआ है इसमें should. Okay, पहले active में should use हुआ था which is a modal. Okay, और उसके साथ be and past participle use हुआ है. Should be obeyed. Clear? Now, sometimes a sentence in active voice has two objects. कभी कभी active voice में दो objects होते हैं. That is the direct object and the indirect object. Okay. In such cases, the passive voice can be made in two ways. अब इसको भी बनाने का अलग तरीके हैं, दो अलग तरीके. For example, my grandmother told me an interesting story. तो यहाँ पे active voice है और इसमें आपके पास है दो objects. एक है me और दूसरा object है interesting story. Okay, so me is the indirect object. कि उसने मुझे स्टोरी बताया, but it is indirect object because the direct object here is the story. Okay, so I was told an interesting story by my grandmother. Okay, this is the first way, or the second way is an interesting story was told to me by my grandmother. Clear? So remember this way of writing it in a different manner also. Okay. So it's not wrong if you use any of this method. Now let's move ahead and see what is the next rule of this. It says the use of by becomes unnecessary. जैसे हमने पहले बोला था कि जब आप active को passive में change करते हो तो generally by word use होता है. Okay, but यहाँ पे you still have some examples जहाँ पे by word is not required in a passive voice. Okay, let's look at them. Okay, it is not required, okay, or it is not necessary when the action is more important than the doer of the action. Okay, like जब हम doer को specify करते हैं, हमें पता होता है कौन doer है, तब हम by लिखते हैं. But यहाँ पे जब हमें पता नहीं होता है and we are giving more importance, okay, to the action, okay, तब हम use करते हैं. That time we don't use the word by. Okay. Many people were injured in the train accident. Okay. The doer of the action is unknown. So, जब हमें doer पता नहीं होता है, तब हम by word use नहीं करते. Okay. Dogs are being killed for fears of rabies. Okay. The doer of the action represents a large group of different individuals. जब हम बड़े group की बात करें, जिसमें अलग individuals होते हैं, okay, are a part of it. Okay. That time we don't use by. Okay. A lot of rice is grown in West Bengal. Okay. The doer of the action is obvious. जब हमें पता है कि जो एक्शन जिसने किया है वो ऑब्वियस है, ओके, लाइक द पेशेंट हैज़ बीन क्योर्ड, तो हमें पता है कि कौन क्योर करता है उसको, डॉक्टर, ओके, सो you don't have to mention that again, okay, by the doctor does not have to be mentioned. If used in earlier statement, not needed in the statement that follows. तो अगर एक statement में उसको use किया गया है, so you need not have to repeat that thing again, okay, like whoever is chosen the captain of the team will be decided by the school committee. Okay, candidates will be judged on their performance and participation in the extracurricular activities. Clear? Now, चलो देखते हैं अभी tenses के हिसाब से ये changes कैसे होते हैं. Like changes in tenses are made as shown in the table. Tense, active voice and passive voice. We'll look at that per tense wise, okay. So let's look at the first one, which is the simple present tense. She eats a mango. अब इसका passive बनेगा, a mango is eaten by her. Present continuous, she is eating a mango. A mango is being eaten by her. Present perfect, she has eaten a mango. A mango has been eaten by her. Simple past, she ate a mango. A mango was eaten by her. Clear? Past continuous, she was eating a mango. A mango was being eaten by her. Past perfect, she had eaten a mango. A mango had been eaten by her. Future time, she will eat a mango. A mango will be eaten by her. Clear? Chalo. Now, let's see what this note says. It says that the present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous and future perfect continuous, they do not have passive forms. Okay? Now, let's look at the changes related to the imperative sentences. Imperative sentences याद है ना आपको, जहाँ पे आपको कोई request होती है, जिसमें advice होता है, command होता है, order होता है. Those are imperative sentences. I hope you remember that. Okay, चलो आप देखते हैं active voice and passive voice कैसे होता है उनका. Call him at once. Let him be called at once. Do not waste water. Let the water not be wasted. Okay, let the water be not wasted. Shut the doors. Let the doors be shut, or the doors should be shut. Permit me to go home, please. Let me kindly be permitted to go home. Don't misunderstand me. I should not be misunderstood. Let's help him. It is suggested that he be helped. Kindly help me. You are requested to help me. One should keep one's promise. Let the promise be kept, or a promise should be kept. One must do one's duty. Duty must be done. Okay? So, they are written in a different manner, but slowly and gradually as you practice, you'll get to know how to write them. Okay? You have to just practice. Alright, now let's look at the change of infinitives. You are to give him this job. Okay, ये active voice में है. This job is to be given to him by you. I hope to build this house soon. This house is hoped to be built soon. Okay, now let's be smart by doing the exercises. Okay, so rewrite these sentences into the passive voice. Shut the door. Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम क्या बोलेंगे shut the door को, let the door be shut. Okay, they are reading books. The books are being read by them. Okay, I will paint the gate. The gate will be painted by me. Okay, clear? चलो अब देखते हैं change these sentences as notices in the passive form. We serve only vegetarian food here. Only vegetarian food is served here. Okay? We do not allow parking of vehicles here. Parking of vehicles is not allowed here. Okay? You should not blow pressure horns in this area. Pressure horns should not be blown in this area. Okay, clear? Chalo. Up next, change these passive voice sentences into active. Okay, he was found guilty of kidnapping. He had committed the crime of kidnapping. Okay, this house was designed by a famous architect. A famous architect designed this house. Okay, was the work finished by her? Did she finish the work? Okay, clear? Chalo. अब देखते हैं changing interrogative and negative sentences. Okay, note how negative sentences are changed into passive voice. Okay, I do not wash my clothes. My clothes are not washed by me. Okay, he does not teach his children. This is in the active voice. इसको change हो जाएगा passive में. His children are not taught by him. Okay, now note how interrogative sentences are changed into the passive voice. Okay, do you write a letter? Is a letter written by you? Why did the children not present a bouquet to the chief guest? Why was the chief guest not presented a bouquet by the children? Or why was a bouquet not presented to the chief guest by the children? Clear? So now let's rewrite the following sentences into passive voice. Have you ever eaten a pizza? Has a pizza been eaten by you ever? Okay. Has she sent her complaint to the authorities? Is the complaint being sent to the authorities by her? Okay. This maiden does not cook delicious food. Is delicious food not cooked by this maiden? Okay, clear? Okay, ऐसे ही all these sentences इनको analyze करो and then change them from active to passive voice. And do reread this chapter. There are a lot of important points that you need to remember also. Alright children, so get going.